Gosh, if I were these guys, there'd be one question I'd be asking this entire film.
Who let the dogs out?
Who? Who?
Who let the dogs out?
Who let them damn dogs out?
Who let the dogs out?
The Grey, released in 2011, and is directed by Joe Carnahan, who's directed such films like Smoking Aces 2, Assassin's Ball, The A-Team, and The Fourth Kind. And this film, of course, is starring Liam Neeson, but it's also starring Frank Grillo, who I forgot was in this movie. Liam Neeson works as a marksman for an oil company up in Alaska. After a night of heavy drinking and attempting suicide, he boards a plane with all of his fellow co-workers. But the plane crashes in the blizzarding desert of Alaska. But of course, Liam Neeson is a total badass and survives the crash, along with a handful of other people. So the film follows their journey from the crash site to wherever they can find help. But they are not prepared that they are being followed by a pack of wild wolves. And of course, I have to go into my Irish accent for this review, at least for the plot summary, because Liam Neeson, he is Irish, and I don't know if his character's supposed to be Irish, but his Irish accent definitely comes out in this movie, especially when he's yelling. I don't know, they never say what his nationality or what his background is, except for he had a wife, and he's really sad about something with not being with her, so he attempts to commit suicide at the beginning of this film. But of course he doesn't, because he has to survive a plane crash and take on a whole bunch of wolves. Honestly, maybe the suicide would have been better, because the moral of any man versus nature film, novel, play, whatever, the moral of those stories are nature's gonna win. The best thing you can do as a human being is respect nature, and maybe it'll take pity on you. But rest assured, Mother Nature is going to win. Whether it's now, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's 10 years from now, nature always wins. Spoiler alert, I guess, for this movie. I also love these movies because the Boy Scout in me comes out. Yes, I was a Boy Scout. I didn't make it all the way to Eagle Scouts because I just got so pissed off with that organization I didn't want to go. The only reason I was going there is because my dad really wanted me to be a part of it. I made Life Scout, and I think all I had to do was some, community service project, which means that the parents got to do that project, and I just didn't want to be a part of it anymore. That was my experience with Boy Scouts. It wasn't really about, hey, let's teach these kids good survival and build good character and good social skills. No, this is about the parents of these children getting to live out and to go camping. Hurrah. It's bad when the 16-year-old is the most mature one on a camping trip. But enough about the shitty Boy Scouts, let's talk about the Grey. Once more into the fray as a poem that he likes to recite during this film several times. Gosh, I sound more like a pirate than I think Irish. But I like these type of stories because we get to see different reactions to this terrible crisis. We have Liam Neeson, of course, who is the calm, collected guy who really knows, how to survive and what's happening and how dire the situation is. After the crash, he's walking around, he's in the plane, he sees someone, he's just bleeding out, his artery has definitely been severed, and he's just spurting blood, and he's just going, what's happening? What's happening, man? Oh no, something's wrong, man! And Liam Neeson is there just like, you're dying, you're going to die. Just flat out says it. Doesn't sugarcoat it, just kind of helps him in the last seconds of his life. You're gonna go into shock. Just let it go over you. You'll get nice and warm. Think about something nice. Think about all the happy thoughts in your life, and just let it come to you. Gosh, I think I know how I want to go out of this world now. Just have Liam Neeson standing over me and narrowing me through it. That would be terrible. That'd be terrible, Caleb. Come on! No, I plan on going out like at the end of The Notebook. Because they loved each other. That's how it's gonna happen for me. But after all the sorting and finding everyone who has survived, all of a sudden the wolves come in, and their introduction is one of the scariest things that I've seen on screen. It's pitch black, there's no light in sight other than their small, little, tiny, pathetic little campfire, and they use it as a little tiny torch, but all you see are just these glowing eyes, pair at a time, popping up in the darkness. All these guys are just saying, oh, fuck. I'd do it too. Again, nature will win. I don't want to fight nature. I was getting annoyed, though, with all the cowards that are in this group, because when you're confronted with a rabid animal, you don't want to get down on all fours or you don't want to back up because that means that he's dominating you and will start to advance probably. You gotta stand your ground. You don't want to take a step back because then you're submitting to him. And there's some dumbasses who do that. Spoiler alert, things don't go well for them. This film, I think, shocked a lot of people because the promotion material, all it is just kind of some snowflakes on a poster and then the face of Liam Neeson. That's really it, and that's really how it was marketed. Liam Neeson versus a bunch of wolves. But it turned out to be a really cool and really riveting story. And I know that wolves are very territorial, and if you step out of line or if you cross them, they will take you out. But just like in any man versus nature type movie, especially when we're dealing with some type of animal, they do beef up the horrorness of that animal and of that breed, making the wolves' eyes seem more devilish and more like bloodthirsty, when in all actuality they're just defending their territory, or maybe they're challenging to be the leader of the pack, or maybe they're just hungry. But they're not like bloodthirsty devils sent here as the devil's pets or anything like that, which this film kind of portrays them as. Cinematically and storytelling-wise, it looks really cool. In the real world, though, this is not the best depiction for wolves. I love wolves. I like to consider myself a lone wolf. I was always the lone wolf in my family, and I always identified myself with wolves. But this same criticism could be applied to the movie Jaws. And Jaws is one of the greatest movies ever made. I, for one, appreciate the artistic liberties, so this doesn't really bother me that much. But it's a story about one man's journey from just starting off with just wanting to give up, but then you're too afraid to do anything about it, to all of a sudden, by the end of this movie, deciding that, no, I'm going to fight for my life. Whether that means I'm going to die in this situation, I don't care. That I'm standing up and that I'm actually taking a stance against something, it's worth it for me. It's a very powerful message. I really enjoy that. I don't know how well it worked out for him. This movie does have one of those ambiguous endings that I remember the first time I watched this, I was pissed off because I want to know what happens. And you really don't? I only learned last year, actually, that there's a post-credit scene to this movie. Blew my mind. Still didn't answer any questions, though. But it's there. So if you are going to watch this out for the first time, please know that there is a post-credit scene. It's like 10 seconds long, but I think it does add to the whole story. It's man versus nature. Again, nature's always going to win. This film teaches you to really respect nature, and it also promotes a good fighting willpower for your life, a fighting willpower for your mindset. That's a very powerful message, and I endorse this movie because of it. I'm going to give The Grey 4 out of 5 Blu-rays.
It's good. It's good.
Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part in my videos where I randomly select which movie I'm going to be watching next, so let's take a look. Fast 5! Actually, that's 10, so... It's the Fast and the Furious gang, back again! I have another one coming out this year, right? Well, it's F9, right? Like a really bad tornado? I don't know. These films have gotten more ridiculous over the years, and it really all started with this one. I actually watched these movies for the first time a couple of years ago, and being shocked that the first movies were not about a race. I thought these were all about racing. But no, this is Point Break. This is about a group of thieves. And the first movie is actually Point Break to the T, just without Patrick Swayze or Keanu Reeves. It was really not until Fast 5 that these really became a big blockbuster hit. And there is one reason, and one reason alone, and that is called Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Franchise Viagra. He's the cure. You put The Rock into a movie, it's gonna spark box office, but we started actually getting some cool stories, actually, from this point on, where this group of thieves is actually hired by a government organization because of their thievery skills, because they're going in and they're gonna, like, heist something. What? I have no idea what they're heisting in this movie. I know it's something. I think there was, like, a big safe. Ooh, Gal Gadot's in this movie. Oh, I just got really excited to watch this movie again. I'm actually going to go watch it right now, because Gal Gadot, she makes me very, very happy. Me and my wife have hall passes for celebrities. Gal Gadot, for me, she is by far number one. So we'll talk about Fast 5 next time. Thank you very much, Dan Hensley, for the recommendation. If any of you have recommendations of films that you want me to review on here, leave your comment below this video, go to my Facebook page, my Instagram, or my Twitter, leave your recommendation there. If I have access to it, I will watch, review it, and give you a shout on the channel. So guys, have you seen The Grey? What did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this video, please comment below and let me know what you thought about it. And if you like what you saw here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button. It helps me out with growing this channel and growing this community. Send your family, send your friends, send your strangers on the street over to my YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, make sure they hit that bell so you know the next time I'm releasing my next review. And we are so close. At the time of this recording, we are so close to hitting 1,000 subscribers. It's unthinkable. Thank you all so much. I think we're just over 980 subscribers. We are this close to hitting 1,000. Thank you all so much so far, and it's gonna happen. And I'm so excited to be at that level, at least on the YouTube community. I'm not excited, though, because I told everyone if we were going to hit 1,000 subscribers that I would record myself watching Arachnophobia and release it, which is going to be scary as hell. I don't want to do it, but I'll do it for you guys, because I love you. You're the best. So guys, I will see you next time with my review of Fast 5. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.